Rickel was a chain of home improvement centers that opened in 1953 and closed in 1998. Thank you for your suggestion.
Rickel helps you do it better.
Rickel Do-It-Yourself Home Centers, serving you for over 25 years.
Take advantage of our price on this Bradley gas grill. It has a 20-pound propane tank, regulator hose, and char rocks.
And it's portable.
And only $89.
And if these beautiful carpet remnants were cut from the roll, they'd cost you up to twice as much.
That's a big savings.
How about sizes?
Many are big enough to go wall to wall.
Thank you for shopping at Rickel.
Do it better with Rickel. Rickel.
In 1946, brothers Al, Mort, and Bob Rickel went into business, forming a heating business in Newark, New Jersey. Both Alvin and Robert Rickel served in World War II in the Army Air Corps. When Robert Rickel returned home from World War II, the housing boom was on, and he and his two brothers wanted to be part of it. Robert's brother, Alvin Rickel, served in the Army Air Corps as well during World War II, where he got his first taste of supply chain management, working as a supply sergeant in the South Pacific. After the war, he opened the first Rickel Home Center in Union, New Jersey. He started the business with his brothers, Bob and Mort, using a GI Bill loan. The son of a heating contractor, Mr. Rickel, like his brothers, went into the same profession, but decided to take their business model in a different direction, one that allowed homeowners to roll up their sleeves and make their own repairs. And with the 1953 opening of Rickel Brothers on Route 22 in Union Township, it would be the largest full-scale do-it-yourself home improvement center during that time. Rickel Home Centers swiftly became the first do-it-yourself plumbing, heating, electrical, and hardware retailer in the United States, paving the way for today's industry giants, such as Home Depot and Lowe's. The story goes that after World War II, the brothers purchased a warehouse full of plumbing supplies for pretty much next to nothing. In many cases, a contractor involved in heating is also involved in plumbing, but the Rickel brothers were not. Since they were unfamiliar with the plumbing, they had no idea what the actual value of the haul was and sought help. A friend put them in touch with a plumber named Bill Ryan, who agreed to go through the items and determine how much they would sell for. Plumbing supplies were usually sold wholesale at this time, which presented a problem for Al, Mort, and Bob. With the massive amount of supplies they had, it was likely going to take a significant amount of time for them to sell them off to local plumbers. They came up with an idea that, at the time, had been unheard of. The idea was to start a business selling the supplies to the general public at retail cost, with Ryan as their salesman. In that role, the brothers felt that he could not pass up only selling supplies to people, but pass along his plumbing knowledge to advise customers on how to fix their own toilets, sinks, drains, etc., and making sure that they had the correct parts to perform the repair. Before Rickel's, there was local hardware stores, but there were no central location for contractors or homeowners to get a full range of supplies for a construction project. The Rickel Brothers stores, which were later known as Rickel Home Centers, aimed to change that by offering suburban customers a supermarket-style shopping experience, along with salespeople who could offer detailed home improvement advice. The Rickels began expanding quickly after their first store became a success, and by the early 1960s were operating 3 locations, all in New Jersey, and a new location in Union. Throughout the 1960s, Rickel Home Centers experienced tremendous growth, opening stores throughout New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Connecticut, touting their slogan, "Do it better with Rickels." In 1969, the business was purchased by Supermarkets General Corporation, the parent company of Pathmark. At its peak in the 1970s, the chain operated about 100 stores across New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, and Pennsylvania, and its advertising jingle was a fixture on local television and radio. Rickel helps you do it better. Do it better with Rickel. Through the 1970s and 1980s, the chain continued in the innovative tradition started by Rickel. In 1973, Rickel introduced information booths in its various major merchandise departments, and in 1978, 5 Rickel stores installed computer checkout terminals. In 1975, the Rickel division of SGC recorded $80 million in sales and was the dominant home improvement retailer in the region, far outselling its larger competitors Channel Lumber and Pergament. The subsequent decade was a time of continued expansion as Rickel chain grew to over 30 stores by the mid-1980s. Supermarkets General's fortune started to turn as the company entered a financial downturn that had lasted for over 20 years. While Rickel was doing well, its corporate sibling Pathmark was losing business and dragging the company's finances down with it. Faced with an increasingly competitive market, Rickel attempted to reinvent its image with an upscale decor-oriented store simply called Home in 1990. Around the time of Supermarket General's cash flow problems, the home improvement chain Home Depot began to open stores in the New York, New Jersey metropolitan area. Combined with Home Depot's expansion and its parent company debt problems, not only did Rickel find itself unable to compete with the rapidly growing Home Depot, but it also began to lose market share to its local competitors who were on the more secure financial footing. By fall of 1993, it became apparent that Rickel's future was beginning to look grim. Supermarket General's was still in serious financial trouble as Pathmark's sales continued to slide, and the company chose to keep its focus on trying to bring its primary brand out of decline. As a consequence of this, Rickel was unable to receive the funding it needed to properly compete with the juggernaut that Home Depot was becoming. In 1994, Supermarkets General reorganized and the company changed its name to Pathmark Stores, Inc., and began looking for ways to divest itself of its varied retail properties, including Rickel. EOS Partner, a venture capital firm, made a bid for Rickel that Pathmark accepted on August 26, 1994. After that, EOS struck a second agreement with GE Capital, another venture capital firm which owned Rickel's competitor, Channel, later that day. When the entirety of both deals were revealed, EOS announced that its new acquisitions would merge into one. 59 of Channel's 60 stores became Rickel locations. The merged company briefly rebranded itself as the new Rickel to reflect this change in direction. Rickel's locations nearly tripled, and it would open stores in many new cities and towns it had not served before. Rickel thus adopted a new slogan, bringing it closer to home, to acknowledge this. Despite the addition of so many new stores to its fold, the sales it generated were not enough to fully pull Rickel out of the tailspin it had found itself in. In fact, the sudden massive expansion proved to be another burden on the company's finances. The new sales figures from its 59 new stores had not done enough to correct the damage that the years of financial trouble that its former parent Pathmark had left on Rickel, and thus a bankruptcy filing was looming as a serious possibility. To try and stave it off, the company decided to close 13 underperforming stores. On January 10, 1996, Rickel announced it had filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. More store closures followed, with another 13 locations liquidated by July. The company failed to attract badly needed investors despite a streamlining plan to boost profits. Basically, we just ran out of cash. Rickel went through 2 more rounds of closures that ran into 1997. When those were done, the chain were almost half the size of where it had been just 2 years before, with 49 locations. On October 11, 1997, Rickel Vice President for Marketing, Greg Hanselman, made the announcement that the company ran out of cash to operate the remaining 49 stores and that the chain was going to begin liquidating. Most of the Rickels were closed by Thanksgiving in 1997, with several more lasting until December as they received more merchandise from already shuttered stores. The last Rickel to close was its largest, with the Wayne store closing in early 1998. So what do you remember about this place? Leave a comment or a suggestion for a future video below. And if you haven't already, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.